What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the knife shop. Just going to be doing a little hand sanding, and I thought I'd kind of take this opportunity to address some stuff that's come up on the page. Nothing bad, nothing great either. I'd like to kind of address some stuff. To start, I'd have to look up the name. God help me, I can't remember. I had a gentleman talk to me today. He was the one that y'all have probably seen making the knives out of. I want to say it looked like plexiglass. I'm not really sure. Plexiglass, wood, whatever the case may be. And I got to talking to him about that, and said, I was like, man, why don't you just make those knives? You know, why don't you, you've got great ideas. They're coming together really good. Why not just make them? And, same as me when I started out. I don't really have, the time, the money, whatever the reason may be. Guys, I want y'all to understand something. I make a decent paycheck. Okay, but it does not nearly pay for all the stuff you see back here. Okay, this was my father's get up and go. The grinder y'all seen, that was my father's startup. The drill press, all the things you've seen me work on except for my forge. The forge that I just recently posted me working in with the 2 power hammers behind me, definitely not my shop. That's a gentleman named Jim Poor. Out in Tuscola, great guy, also a great mentor. I'm learning a hell of a lot already, and I've only been out there once, and I don't think I got the opportunity to show y'all. So I got to forge me up a couple knives out of some rasps, and like I said, great guy, got some great opportunities. So the thing is, guys, is there's people all over the nation doing this kind of stuff, whether it's stock removal in a shop, making knives, that's a good way to start, or it's a blacksmith or a farrier that is doing his own stuff. Whatever the case may be. There are so many opportunities out there. The whole thing is you just got to look. Now, yeah, you can go online and ask someone like me or the Texas Blacksmith or whoever, Jake's 87 Mopar, I think I said that right. People like that. You can ask all kinds of people all day long. And you won't really have this realization until you kind of experience it, but you can ask people all day, well, how do I do this, or how do I do this, or what does this technique do? You can go on YouTube, and you can watch for hours and hours and hours and hours. You can go on Google and do all kinds of research. And one thing you'll find on Google is everyone has their own opinion of a certain way to do it, but until you get into a shop and you actually start kind of hands-oning it, you're not really going to get kind of some of the techniques that are being explained to you. If they say, I'm going to give you an example. I'm putting a center line on my knife, that way I know not to grind too far for the heat treat. But for someone who's never made a knife, they're like, what the hell does that mean? So, there's just a lot of stuff until you get experience you're not going to know. So my thing is find somebody who does something close to this, whether he has his own forge, he has his own shop, makes knives. Even if he just makes tongs and a little bit of here and there, get some experience. Now, I know that for some people you're like, yeah, that's easy to say coming from a guy whose dad's been doing it for 20 years and knows a blacksmith who's out in, 15 minutes away from his town or what have you. I know that's a lot to say for some people. But, sorry. Like I said, there's people doing this all over the place. This is really becoming a large activity for a lot of people. Okay, like I told you all about the Texas Knife Makers Guild. I'm in the Texas Knife Makers Guild. There are people all over the place nearby me that never knew of until I got into this, or into the Knife Makers Guild anyway. And all of a sudden I'm meeting all these people. I'm like, where are you from? They're like, oh, I'm out here 15 minutes from your house. I'm like, okay, that'll work. So find some resources, find some people, and start building up your own tools. Okay, look, let me show y'all something. I'm not particularly proud of this hammer as much as it was just a starter. I was like, I need to get going. I need to have something. And they literally put this in Lowe's as blacksmithing hammer. It's a cross-peen hammer. It did the job. For the first set of tongs I made, first set of tongs were not that great, but it was a good practice run. And this was a cheap-ass hammer, guys. I didn't have to pay a whole lot of pocket out of this. I wasn't hurting the bank. My wife wasn't cussing me out the next day for buying it. It's just a cheap fiberglass rubber-wrapped handle. It ain't that great, but it gets the job done. Okay? Not long, I get a little bit more into it. Rounding hammer. Okay? $30. It's a Nordic Forge. $30. And it works. It's a little soft when it comes to hitting on other tools, I've come to realize, and that's okay. it does the job. You know, once you kind of start getting into there, so what I'm saying is yeah, you can get a $180, $200 badass hammer that someone handmade. That's great. If you can do that, do that. But if you can't, there are options, okay? It's not the end of the world. You think, well, I can't do this, or I can't do this. I'll just never get into it. Guys, I said the same thing about blacksmithing. I don't know how to make a gas forge. I don't know how to make a charcoal forge. Well, then I looked it up. Oh, okay, I know how to do it. Well, I just don't have the money to go and put all this stuff together. Well, then I found cheaper methods, and I got started. I'm making a gas forge this weekend. A simple design that somebody gave me. Jim Poor, once again. Design he gave me. Simplest thing I've ever seen. I was overcomplicating the hell out of it. So find someone with experience and get you a base set of tools. Okay? A lot of advice I've gotten, sucker rod. Some of you may know what this is, some of you don't. It comes out of the oil field. You can get it 3/4 inch, inch width, whatever you want. It's a pretty good way to start making your own tools. Tongs, whatever. I'm kind of going for chisels, fullers, drifts, things like that. I can make a lot of damn chisels and fullers out of this. And it's easy to come by. Sucker rod is everywhere. Even just like at pipe places, I think they run like 75 cents a foot. That's pretty damn cheap. Okay, and that makes your basic set of hand tools. Okay, if you're getting into forge welding, Texas Farrier Supply, high temp flux, $8, super cheap. So all this stuff that everyone says they can't get, you know, $9 for this brush I use to wipe away scale. These tongs are round stock made into tongs. I mean, this is, didn't pay shit for these. These cost me nothing. So there are opportunities. You just kind of have to take that step and say, okay, I'm going to be determined and I'm going to find every opportunity I can find at my doorstep, even if I have to kick in a different door and find an opportunity. I'm going to find a way to get into this. And that's what I've been doing. And slowly but surely, I'm building it up. Now, do I have a badass knife grinder yet? No. I don't have a badass knife grinder yet. Do I have my own shop yet? No, unfortunately I don't. And you'll see a lot of people start out like that. They find a mentor and they get into a shop. Luckily, I happen to be related to mine. Luckily, another mentor, where I'm trying to get into blacksmithing, lives 15 minutes from my house and has told me, come out here anytime you want. Anytime you want, I'll teach you something. And he held true to that. I went out there the other day and he put my ass to work on a forge. And I couldn't have been happier. That was one of the best days of my life. Minus when I got married, in case she sees this. But one of the best days of my life. I just had fun doing. I was pouring sweat. I burnt my damn arm, and I am the happiest I've been in forever. Finding a passion that you like, especially if it's this. If this is your passion, do not hesitate to get into it. You will kick yourself in the ass when you're 40 years old and finally have the money to do it. Take the time now, get into it. Like I said, there are opportunities everywhere. You've just got to go and look for them. That being said, once you find that opportunity, I better see some stuff on your pages. Because this stuff is way too fun and way too cool to be leaving us out of the circle, okay? So, make some cool shit, find a mentor, post it, and I hope to see it soon.